Hey guys, SlamFan92 here again today with episode number 5 of my head-to-head season series. If you missed the 4th episode or any other previous episode of the series, the link to the whole playlist will be down in the description as usual. Anyways, in this episode I will actually use Santos as it was one of the teams that was suggested in the last episode in the comment section, and I, of course, as usual, just put some numbers into a randomizer, the random.org homepage, and then Santos basically came out. So here's the starting lineup with Rafael in goal, then Bruno Perez, Edu Dracena or Dracena, then Durval as the captain, and Guilherme Santos, then Marcos Assunção, Cicero, Rodriguez, then Montillo, and up front Andre, and of course Neymar, the star of this squad. I used the default formation for this team because it looked pretty good, with Neymar sitting a little bit deeper than the other striker Andre, and sort of being more or less kind of a playmaker from the striker position, or more or less a center forward position, but rather a little bit to the left instead of the middle. So he was kind of more or less the best goal scoring option for my team as well, because he's by far the highest rated player and of course by far the best player of this team. Getting started in the first match against Celtic, I came up against here, and Neymar showing some great work here. He's an amazing player on Ultimate Team, you all know that, and he is also very good on head to head too. He's very quick. You can actually use the skill dribbling, so LT RT combinations with him very nicely, and his weak foot is very good, as you can see in the two first goals he scores. There are lovely near post finishes there, and I'm already up 2-0 against my opponent here. Then I get another counter attack going, Marcos Assunção picking up the ball in his own half, and then just a little bit of trickery. I know it's a bit laggy, I'm not so sure if the A servers were kind of unstable at that time. Anyways, Neymar makes his way into the box and scores his third goal for this match, so very nice performance there by him indeed. And then one final goal in the 90th minute, doing some work here out on the wing with Andre, who actually is not too bad. The only problem I sometimes had with this team was actually the finishing of the two strikers. Neymar hasn't got the highest finishing, even though he's a very good player, and Andre hasn't got the best finishing either, but he can of course score if he has an open net in front of himself, as you can see here, to make it 4-0 to me in the 90th minute. And this is actually going to be the end of this match and the first match of this episode, of course. So apart from the rather low finishing on most of the players, I actually had no complaints whatsoever about this team. It worked really well together as a whole. The two center backs aren't the fastest, but actually very strong and just very good. And as you probably all know already, pace isn't too important on head-to-head, even though it's still of course an important factor of the game. Get a very lucky penalty here. I thought it was a good block by my opponent. I actually used Atlético Mineiro in this game, which was kind of cool to come up against Ronaldinho and other cool Brazilian players. Anyways, Neymar finishes it straight down the middle in the 7th minute to give me the very early lead in this match. And then after a free kick here, I'm on the counter attack once again with Neymar, and he's so quick, makes some space, drags the defender away, and then Andre finds a nice pass into Cicero, and he took out his keeper for whatever reason there, and I just take the open net. Very easy finish there for Cicero in the 64th minute. And here actually is probably going to come up my favorite goal I scored with this team. As I said, or as I actually didn't say so far, very nice passing between the team. Marcos Assunção is a very slow player, and he's also got some ridiculously low stamina, like even under 30 I think, which is kind of crazy for a CDM in my opinion at least. But he's a very good passer of the ball. He's of course great for corners and free kicks as well, and kind of the playmaker from the CDM spot, so a pretty cool player in that team. Anyways, my opponent rage quits in the 80th minute, which makes me win the second game of this episode. And in the next match I come up against West Ham United, and this was a very tough game, because first of all, as you can see here already, it was very laggy, so I barely could defend this goal here. He scores in the end with, I think it's Ricardo Vaste. And secondly, he played on attacking and high pressure, and that is a very deadly combination in my opinion on this year's FIFA. Maybe a little bit too overpowered, but then again, defensive counter attack is too overpowered in my opinion as well. He makes a mistake though, his defensive line is way up too high and he takes his keeper out of the box, which means he won't be able to use his hands to defend this rather easy shot by Neymar there, and I only draw this game, but it was once again very laggy and also kind of frustrating from time to time to play against that high pressuring opponent. Anyways, we now already have 8 points in Division 7 and moving on into the last match of this episode with Santos, who actually, as I mentioned now earlier, was a very enjoyable team to play with. And while I'm talking about the teams, please don't forget to put your suggestions for the next team I should use down in the comment section below, and I will, of course, as usual, pick a random team. Get a very lucky deflection goal here by Andre, but I was all over this guy in this game. Tried to score some nice skill goals with Neymar, which in the end didn't work out too well because Julio Cesar saved most of my shots. But as you will be able to see in the match details after the game, I had something ridiculous like 26 shots and 20 shots on target, and I could have definitely scored more goals if I wasn't going for fancy goals. Get up 3-0 here with a nice chipped header there by Andre, still in the first half in the 40th minute, and then he gets a very weird FIFA-esque kind of goal after a corner. I really thought this ball was out of bounds, to be perfectly honest. Then Remy outjumps my defender, who is in a much better position there. Anyways, this match actually ends 3-1 in the end, so another win in this episode, which kind of rounds it up. And this is actually going to be the end of the episode, guys. As always, a like is greatly appreciated if you didn't enjoy it. Other than that, thanks a lot for watching and for listening through the commentary, guys, and I'll talk to you later.